Hello, hi, and welcome to Lesson 6 in M5's new program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan, and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready to start today's lesson? Yes? Good. Well then, let's learn English together. Now, before we start today's lesson, let's think about what we learned in the last few lessons, in lessons 1 to 5, in the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth lessons. We learned how to greet people at different times of the day. Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We learned that in English, AM is before noon, before lunchtime, in the morning. And we learned that PM is afternoon or after lunchtime. We learned how to introduce ourselves and others. I'm Gav Duncan, and this is Alfredo Benchfield. We learned the full and short, positive and negative versions of the verb to be. My name is Gav Duncan. Her name's Margaret Bissett. My name's not Jeffrey Banana. He is not Dave Squid. We learned 2 forms of numbers and practiced saying telephone numbers and some simple maths. We learned the days of the week and the months of the year, and we learned that we spell them with a capital letter. Friday is the 5th day of the week. Saturday and Sunday, the 6th and 7th days of the week, are the weekend. November is not the 2nd month of the year. November is the 11th month of the year. February is the 2nd month of the year. Now, let's look at the verb to be again. Do you remember the form of the verb to be? Do you remember the table? Hi, I am Gav Duncan. Hello, I'm Gav Duncan. Good morning. You are George Brown. Good morning. You're George Brown. Good afternoon. He is Alfredo Benchfield. Good afternoon. He's Alfredo Benchfield. Good evening. She is Margaret Bissett. Good evening. She's Margaret Bissett. Let's try some more. Hello. My name is Gav Duncan. Good morning. My name's Gav Duncan. Good afternoon. Your name is George Brown. Hi. Your name's George Brown. Good evening. His name is Alfredo Benchfield. Good morning. His name's Alfredo Benchfield. Hi. Her name is Margaret Bissett. Hello. Her name's Margaret Bissett. Now, we also know how to make the negative form of the verb to be. So let's see a table for that too. I am not Jeffrey Banana. I'm not Jeffrey Banana. You are not Dave Squid. You're not Dave Squid. You aren't Dave Squid. He is not French. He isn't French. He's not French. She is not French. She isn't French. She's not French. It is not French. It isn't French. It's not French. Okay, now let's look at the table and use the positive and negative forms of the verb to be. I am not hungry. I'm not hungry. I'm thirsty. You are not Winnetou. You're not Winnetou. You are George Brown. You're George Brown. You are not Dave Squid. You're not Dave Squid. He is not Margaret Bissett. He's not Margaret Bissett. He isn't Margaret Bissett. He is Alfredo Benchfield. He's Alfredo Benchfield. She is not Gav Duncan. She's not Gav Duncan. She isn't Gav Duncan. She is Margaret Bissett. She's Margaret Bissett. It is not an octopus. It's not an octopus. It isn't an octopus. It is a giraffe. It's a giraffe. Let's try that again. I am not hungry. I'm not hungry. I'm thirsty. You are not Winnetou. You're not Winnetou. You are George Brown. You're George Brown. You are not Dave Squid. You're not Dave Squid. He is not Margaret Bissett. He's not Margaret Bissett. He isn't Margaret Bissett. He is Alfredo Benchfield. He's Alfredo Benchfield. She is not Gav Duncan. She's not Gav Duncan. She isn't Gav Duncan. She is Margaret Bissett. She's Margaret Bissett. It is not an octopus. It's not an octopus. It isn't an octopus. It is a giraffe. It's a giraffe. Now it's time to look at the other parts of the verb to be. We know the singular form. Now it's time to look at the plural form. Do you remember the difference between singular and plural? Singular means one and plural means more than one. Now, the plural form of the verb to be is simple. This is the positive full form. We are, you are, they are. Simple. We are, you are, they are. Okay, so that's the full form. What about the short form? Well, that's easy too. We're, you're, they're. We're, you're, there. Simple. So, now we know the singular, full and short versions of the verb to be. I am or I'm. You are or you're. He, she, it is or he's, she's and its. And we also know the plural full and short versions of the verb to be. We are or we're. You are or you're. And they are or they're. Okay, great. Now, let's look at the plural version of the verb to be again. We are dogs or we're dogs. We are cats or we're cats. We are dogs or we're dogs. You are cats or you're cats. We are cats or we're cats. You are dogs or you're dogs. We are giraffes or we're giraffes. They are giraffes or they're giraffes. We are giraffes or we're giraffes. They are giraffes or they're giraffes. Okay, so what about the negative? How do we make the negative form? That's right, we add not. We are not. We're not. You are not. You're not. You aren't. They are not. They are not. They aren't. Easy. Now, let's put it all together. The singular, the plural, the full form, the short form, the positive and the negative. Ladies and gentlemen, the verb to be. First, the positive singular. I am or I'm. You are or you're. He, she, it is or he's, she's, its. And now the negative singular. I am not or I'm not. You are not, you're not or you aren't. He, she, it is not. He's, she's, it's not or he, she, it isn't. And now the positive plural. We are or we're. You are or you're. And they are or they're. And now the negative plural. We are not, we're not, or we aren't. You are not, you're not, or you aren't. And they are not, they're not, or they aren't. Okay, now let's practice the verb to be. I am thirsty. I am not George Brown. I'm not George Brown. We are not giraffes. We're not giraffes. We aren't giraffes. We are cats. We're cats. They're cats. They're cats. You are Winnetou. You're Winnetou. You are not giraffes. You're not giraffes. You aren't giraffes. Fantastic. So, let's complete the sentences. I, Gav Duncan. I am Gav Duncan, or I'm Gav Duncan. You, Winnetou. You are not Winnetou. You're not Winnetou, or you aren't Winnetou. He, she, it, French. He is French, or he's French. She is French, or she's French. It is French, or it's French. We, students. We are students, or we're students. You, policeman. You are not policeman. You're not policeman. You aren't policeman. They, doctors. They are doctors. They're doctors. That's all we have time for today. Today we looked at the verb to be. Now we know the verb in all its forms. We know the full form and the short form. We know the positive form and the negative form. And we know the singular form and the plural form. Great. Well, I had fun today. I hope you had fun too. My name's Gav Duncan. I am not Winnetou. I'm not a giraffe. See you next time for lesson number 7, the 7th lesson in M5's TV program, Let's Speak English. See you later. Bye.